The forested planet of Sustantia has been cursed with the blood of the members of Locke Asset Protection and Greg Bix, all members of the corporatocracy, the Syndicate of Omicron. Unbeknownst to any would-be investigator, this atrocity was committed by the nefarious Human Confederacy and their psionic agents, Saph and Ruby. As a result of these actions, a crime scene has been hastily prepared in the area where the bodies were eventually found by a park ranger. While Sustantia itself is within the neutral zone, Greg Bix's importance within the Syndicate has led to one of the many private detective agencies being tasked with investigating the crime despite their lack of jurisdiction over Sustantia. Representing the Syndicate is a smartly dressed young woman who appears slightly distressed. We join her as she leans against a tree, smoking some smoke leaf while simultaneously consuming a coffee, perhaps in an attempt to cope with the scene she just witnessed. Will this ambitious young detective find the button that Teflo cut off Saph's shirt? Or will she find any other clues as to the assassins' identities?
What a first solo investigation to send me on. Bunch of dead PMF guys and business guys with the culprits leaving absolutely no trace of their existence behind. Something made their ship crash. I couldn't really tell anything from inspection, but maybe I'll find something when I look at the pictures back at the office. Almost feels like I've been set up to fail with how impossible this all seems. Hopefully they'll understand and I won't get fired on the spot when I get back. I guess I may as well do a field recording and do a last sweep for any evidence. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot more to learn here. This is Elena Rodir with Private Public Investigation Corporation. The scene is grim. 5 casualties from what looks like a firefight of some sort. A lot more casualties from a shipwreck of unknown cause. Victims include members of Bix Corp staff, Locke Asset Protection, and Greg Bix. Their data should all be collected in the ID scanner, and I separated the crash victims from the firefight victims there, so we should be able to tell them apart. Wounds are inconsistent. Looks like a couple different blaster weapons were used. 3 were shot, including Mr. Bix, and 2 have large entry wounds from a weapon still unknown. The source appears to possibly be large rounds from a kinetic source, although I haven't found any casings, cartridges, or bullets yet. I'm about to perform a final sweep of the area before I head back to the office. I haven't seen any wound like this before, not even in school where I thought they were pretty thorough. A blaster didn't do this, and it's way too large for any kinetic weaponry I know of. I wonder if that park ranger saw anything. Where did he run off to?
Can you do that thing with the rock again?
Well, you certainly do enjoy a bit of telekinesis, don't you? I can't blame you. It's quite a spectacle when a scion uses their telekinesis.
I've just always wondered what it'd be like to have telekinesis. I saw it on TV all the time, like CGI stuff. But I never thought it was actually possible. So my mind's a bit blown.
Well, like all of our powers, it's about focusing your energy with intention. I'll do it again, just for your amusement.
Speak of the devil. There he is now, entering my crime scene.
That's so cool. If I had that power, I'd never have to bend over to pick up trash again.
It certainly does have its uses. You should see the things we can move when there are multiple of us. We do a lot of emergency disaster response work, and we've lifted some massive things to help people out.
Sounds awesome. Not the disasters, but your powers.
I am very fortunate to be gifted, but it's also a lot of responsibility too. It's the reason we're here today in your absolutely beautiful forest. Speaking of, is that Syndicate detective you were talking about?
I thought you said you were done investigating, Ranger. This is an active investigation.
Sorry, Miss Rodir. This is Nand Yates. He's from the Union, and he's here to take over the investigation.
Typical Union overreach. What jurisdiction do you have over Syndicate citizens murdered in the NZ? None. Pack your guys and go back to the Union. You're not needed here.
If I may, Ranger Peters is not quite right on, well, quite a few things there. I'm Inquisitor Nand Yates. I don't live in the Union, simply next to its capital, as all Scions do. We have treaties with them to guarantee our freedoms, and we do work with them often, but I assure you I am not an agent of the Union. I'm here because I serve the Psionic Compact, not the Union. I am only here to investigate a potential psionic occurrence. The murders are up to you to solve, as I have no real interest in them.
Scions? Psionic Compact? I'm not sure I'm following. Are the lab tech guys paying you to prank me?
Our affairs are none of your business. Don't worry yourself about her existence, as it's irrelevant to your investigation.
It's all right, Heba. She's wise to be cautious. I've heard that many times, Elena. I used to take offense to people not believing we're real, but now I just find it kind of funny. We are very real, but very rare, so I can't blame you for not believing in us. It sounds straight out of a storybook. An extremely small group of humans with the ability to manipulate the very fabrics of the universe. However, I can tell you that us Scions are real, and we're right here.
I'm sorry. Manipulate the fabrics of the universe? I don't do magic. Take your scams somewhere else.
Okay, perhaps a demonstration is in order then. I've met a lot of detectives in my time, and I know that to convince you, you need hard evidence. Well, prepare yourself for said evidence. May I have your permission to search your thoughts?
Sure.
Your surname is Rodir. What is your first name, Miss Rodir?
Elena? What was that all about?
Ooh, lovely name that is. You're about to find out what it's all about. What do you say, Elena? Is this real?
You're walking up a tree just like I walked down a road. Is there something going on with your shoes? Is this some kind of trick?
So skeptical, Elena. No, you see, as an Inquisitor, I'm specialized in two main types of skills. My first power is that I can manipulate minds, make people feel emotions, dig through their thoughts, make people act according to my demands. Our other specialty is reality manipulation, which actually crosses over with the Seers. The difference between us and them is that they specialize in large-scale, inaccurate reality manipulations, while we specialize in small-scale, accurate ones, like localizing my personal gravity about this tree. If you still find it hard to believe, watch. I'll show you. Do you understand now? I wasn't lying when I said I was a magician.
I believe you now. Magic existing wasn't exactly something I expected to learn today.
Well, I always say we need to keep our minds open and continue learning. There's always something out there that we don't know about. You're from the Syndicate, correct?
That's right.
Well, I don't get the opportunity to talk to many people from the Syndicate. I find that companies and people there are much more hesitant to hire us than the Union is, just due to our proximity and how much work we do for the Union. Tell me if I'm wrong in my understanding here, because I always try to comprehend your form of government, but it's very foreign to me. No offense to you. The compact is nice and easy. We've got the triad that we elect for life, one master from each of the three branches, and when one of them dies, there's another election. My understanding is that the Syndicate is flaunted as a place that's free of rules and restrictions and government, yet there's basically a government made of business leaders. Is that correct?
You're really making me go back to my civics classes, huh? Yes, there actually was a period of time where the board didn't exist and it was a corporate free-for-all. But they found pretty quickly that without some form of cohesiveness, everything tends to fall apart. So we got this hybrid form.
Sounds a lot like a plutocracy. And no one is elected, correct?
The most successful are put in places of power. It's worked for as long as the Syndicate's been around for. What are you doing?
Looking for evidence of psionic activity. As an Inquisitor, part of my duties to the Compact are to find new psions and investigate happenings like these. We have a ton of relay stations that are able to detect the minute bends in psionic energy produced generally by children with the blessing. Then there are psionic bursts like this, which mimic a psion actually utilizing their powers. They happen from time to time even without a psion present, but we still must investigate, just to be safe. It's our duty to ensure that every psion is a member of the Compact and adheres to our rules. This device I've got here detects psionite crystals, a byproduct of the concentration of psionic energy.
I've never heard the word scion so many times before in my life.
Well, we are a very creative bunch when it comes to naming things. Look at that wound on this guy. What amount of money could turn men into such savages?
So what you're saying is there was a scion involved in this killing?
Absolutely not. In fact, I'd say that's impossible.
Impossible is a very assured statement. How could he be so sure that there wasn't a scion involved?
It's simple. We are sworn to peace. Violence, especially this kind of unjustified violence, is incompatible with the rules, regulations, and lifestyles of the Psionic Compact.
What about someone who's not in your group?
Every gifted being is within the Compact. That's why we have relays across the entire galaxy. Even one rogue Scion could be dangerous, mostly to themselves. So we ensure we take no chances with these things. Even the Syndicate will willingly allow us to take on their psionically talented individuals.
Every single psionic being in the entire galaxy is in your group.
It is an exceedingly rare occurrence, being gifted, and we have the resources to follow up on our discoveries. Of the enormous population of the galaxy, only a couple thousand humans are psionically capable. It's not as hard as you'd think. Before the children are 8, we'll have already brought them under our wing, as they will have already begun to bend psionic energy in manners we're able to detect. That means we can go to their location and bring them into the Compact. Oh, would you look at that?
Cyanide crystals?
You pick up on things quickly, Detective. That's exactly it. This is very interesting. Other Inquisitors mentioned finding similar scenes, brought somewhere by a false burst, a body, or bodies with psi-night crystals present, and we've been investigating it internally. Our best guess is a group of bounty hunters has figured out a way to create or reuse them, and are using it to cover up high-profile targets like this. Ones that might actually get them arrested, unlike the common folk they normally go after. We're not sure if they're trying to implicate scions, or if they're just taunting us, but they have our attention. I'll note this down as another one of those, and then I'll get out of here and continue our investigation. Then I'll be out of your hair, so you can proceed with your own investigation. We've got some contracts we need to complete, so I must be quick.
Do you have a card with your information so we can talk if either of us have any developments in the case? At this point, I'll take any lead I can get. Here, you can have mine.
Sure, thank you. Official Syndicate colors. Very nice. I'll have to put this one on my wall. Well, it's been lovely to meet you. I hope you're able to figure something out here so the families of these victims can rest easy. Myself and Heba must be going now. Like I said, we've got a lot of contracts we need to fulfill. Good luck on your first solo investigation, Elena.
Thanks. See ya.
Did you get what you wanted?
For the most part, yes.
Awesome. You ever do that walking vertically thing at any parties to impress people?
I can't say I have. I tend to stick to my very strict regimen now, so I haven't been to many parties in recent times.
Well, if you're ever back in the Velt system, give me a holler. You can totally be my wingman.
Of all the situations I've been in, that might take the cake as the weirdest. Last time I ever saw a magician was way back in the 2nd grade at a friend's birthday party. Even then, this guy's clearly a bit different from that. Magic is real. Okay. I'd heard of signs before, but I thought the stories about humans with the ability to bend the fabric of the universe were just that. Stories. That they just existed to prop up a feeling of superiority in humanity. I never would have guessed there was an actual organization of them, especially not one that does mundane stuff like investigate crime scenes. Nand seemed sure there was no way a sign is involved in this crime. I'm not so sure. Just because someone promises to be a good person doesn't mean they would be one. I don't know anything about the compacts, but I know people everywhere are capable of doing anything, especially here. And the NZ morality seems to go out the window as the chaos of the galaxy closes in. I'll have to do some digging when I get back to the office. What's that? It's a button. Dark orange, metallic, black engravings, and a whole lot of wear. It was well worn by someone, but also well loved based off the obvious maintenance. Let's have a look at the engravings. A striped circle with half eclipse inside, a single small circle at the apex of that. I don't recognize that symbol. Hang on a second. I thought I wouldn't be so lucky. It's not the psionic compact symbol. It also doesn't match any of these PMF guys or Greg's suit. If I were a betting woman, and I am on occasion, I'd wager this belongs to our attacker. If Nand's right, this gives me something to investigate. I'll have to check with the gang unit to see if they recognize this symbol. This is a gang, especially an NZ gang. I'll have to be careful. I've already learned just how dangerous they can be, especially when they have an almost unlimited supply of dirty money flowing from the NZ. I guess this is my life now. I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna solve this case. All these people, every one of them didn't deserve to die. If I leave this case unsolved, what are their families supposed to do? Except that their loved ones died and that we have no idea who did it? That's not acceptable. This isn't a no-evidence, unsolvable mystery anymore. I have what I think will be the key to cracking this wide open. I just need to understand what it means. It's probably about time I go back to the office. I think I got some work ahead of me.